Hi there, welcome to I Alone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Libra energy, and we're going to start out asking what's going on in Libra energy, and then why is that going on in Libra energy, and then some advice for people, and then what could be the possible outcome if they were to take that advice. But we've got to realize that everybody has free will and people can harness their Libra energy differently. Some people harness high vibe Libra energy. They're balanced within themselves. They're not tipped out of balance into enabling poor behavior in themselves and in others. Some people are aligned with their more loving, hopeful, believing nature, letting love and intuition guide their decisions. Other people kind of let their ego or their fear or their codependency or their bossy controlling nature or their materialistic nature, whatever, something about their shadow is kind of running their life. So we're going to talk about kind of some of that here in this story here, but we all do tap into Libra energy. If you harness high vibe Libra energy, you'd probably like to hang out with some people who harness high vibe Libra energy. Okay. Let's turn the camera down. So what is going on in Libra energy right now? We have 3 cards not showing themselves, and the reason those came out of what is going on. And there might be a lot of things going on behind the scenes that people don't know. Some people are hiding that they harness these energies in shadowy ways because in the 7 of Cups, they're trying to emotionally confuse people about the truth. Because we're either truthful and honest and taking action in truth and justice and fairness, or we don't want to do that, but we want people to maybe view us that way. So we're trying to emotionally confuse people about the truth. So the 7 of Cups is Scorpio energy. So the difference between how different people are moving forward right now in their Scorpio energy could depend on how they harness their Scorpio energy. People who are in high vibe Scorpio energy want deep, meaningful, loving relationships. We're emotionally complex human beings. They want to experience willing to explore the roller coaster that's called life from a place of love. They know that there's going to be highs and lows, that not everything's going to work out the way they want, but they're not willing to give up their dreams of being in deep, emotional, loving connections with people just because other people might have confused them because they harness their Scorpio energy different, and Libra is represented by the scales of justice and, what we think is just and fair. And some people emotionally could choose Libra's air sign energy of the mind. Some people might be really confused. And they haven't worked through it, so they're kind of maybe in a stuck place, can't figure out which way they want to live their life. Do I want to do love and hope and faith and belief, or do I want to live more from my mind than my heart, or make my life about indulging myself, or make my life more about money? And there is some people in the world that do live more from their mind and their heart, and they harness their Scorpio energy different. They might prefer to keep their emotions more buried beneath the surface, use them as they need them in relationships, but they could think life's more just about death, sex, and taxes. Like, I don't want to do a deep, meaningful relationship. I find that confusing. I kind of like to live a life more about the world or more about me. And I just try to confuse people about the truth that I really might be someone who might be a little more emotionally shallow and superficial. They might like to be in relationships with people who are really loving and warm, but that's not the truth of who they are. And that's the thing. We need to get to know people to find out these truths about them. What drives them, motivates you? Do you seem more open and loving and nurturing, or are you more closed off and not very nurturing? And, why are people the way they are? It's complex and there's a lot of different reasons, but, we have to get over thinking like we can change people. If you're a loving, nurturing person, how long could it take before I could make you someone who every day is like a bully and mean and petty and envious and vengeful, And sometimes some of the people who, When we're in our shadow energy, it is about being more competitive, and it can be being jealous of other people. Because when we're in our shadow energy, we have these things that manipulate us, that keep us from being more authentically ourselves, more open, more loving. And sometimes people who see other people who are more open and loving and balanced, they don't like that. Why aren't you imprisoned by the same things I'm imprisoned by? And that can be when the envy and the jealousy and the vengefulness comes out, and like, in order for me not to feel this way, I could do work within myself to free myself, but that takes work and effort. So I think instead I'm just going to try to tear you down and get you to live your life like me and be emotionally confused like me. Maybe give up on believing in your dreams. So, with all that said, I think people are harnessing these energies differently. The shadowy people, a little more worldly focused, ego focused, immature, got some lessons learned in life, still trying to maybe manipulate people without doing the work within themselves to be more just and fair and act with character and integrity and more open and loving in a relationship. Those people are trying to hide from the people they're in a relationships with, that they harness these energies in a little more shadowy way. The Five of Wands. So the Five of Wands is being in our Leo energy, which can be that we still have a lot of inner conflict about even how we feel. So some people are just got a lot of inner conflict and confusion. We have this dualistic nature. We can live our life aligning with our more hopeful, believing nature, or we can live our life aligning with our more worldly nature. And I don't know, the bell curve says that most people kind of would be in the bulk going back and forth. And there could be some people who just can't pick a path in their Libra energy of the Two of Swords. It's like, oh my gosh, I just can't decide. How should I live my life? So there are these people who can't make a decision. Because it's kind of interesting with this being the 7 and that being the 5. The way I kind of look at it, it's kind of like we've got the 12 zodiac signs. And then it's kind of interesting, like Jesus had the 12 disciples. But anyway, within ourselves, because we have this dualistic nature, it's like we have a supreme court in our own head. And we have to make this decision, which aspect of ourself are we going to favor? Are we going to out 7 of the 12? Because 6 and 6 would be like working, maybe in a balanced way, but we have to tip in favor of one way or the other. There comes a point in time, if we're like in relationships with people, am I going to, life's about duality and choosing. Am I going to choose this or am I going to choose that? And the 7 would be a majority of the 12. But some people really are battling within themselves because it's like, I kind of want to do that, but I also want to do this, or I kind of want to do this, but I also kind of want to do that. And there's Libra is well-known aspect maybe of some Libras where they just can't make a decision. And maybe it is because they're trying to make a decision more from their mind. We were given the gift of our intuition, and the water realm in tarot represents our intuition. I guess until people see the truth, they're going to stay stuck. Ever since we've been small children, being in loving, encouraging, and supportive relationships is where we thrive and grow. But, for a long time in our life, and learning to love ourselves and see that and love ourselves to believe that we deserve to be in loving relationships. And if we want to be in loving relationships, we should be someone who's in loving energy. But some people are really conflicted because I don't really want to do the work to be more aligned with my more loving nature. I like to stay defensive because I have inner conflict about listening to my intuition and maybe trusting love. So I like to be over here in my inner conflict, kind of aligning with the competition, not my loving nature, my more defensive nature. But I want to be in relationships with people who are like that. And I want them to stay in denial of the fact that I'm not like that. So sometimes people who are defensive or, got some shadowy aspects to them, well, I want those people to let me be in a relationship with them, even though I'm not that. So I get to be shadowy, and I get all those things of the world, and being in relationships with people who've chosen to be balanced within themselves, to be open and loving and giving and nurturing, and they temper their shadow nature to choose a higher truth and justice of how to live their life. And they get to benefit from being in a relationship with someone like that without them being that type of person. That would be a person who like wants their cake, but they want to eat it too. I want to be over here, but I want that. Well, that's not just and fair, and they want to stay in denial of the truth of that. The people they're getting in a relationship with who are loving and nurturing and just and fair want to be in relationships with people who are loving and just and fair. And they're like, but I'm defensive. Well, but I'm kind of immature, or I'm bossy, or I'm controlling, or I'm egotistical, and I'd have to do work within myself to free myself from those things to be more just and fair and loving, and I don't even want to see the truth of it. I might want to stay in denial that I'm all those shadowy things. I might believe this illusion that I am that, but I'm not. And so because of that, some people who have dealt with people like that have cut those people out of their life, and they called judgment on them because they do see through the illusion. You try to present, you either can't make a decision. Well, fine, you can't make a decision if you want to be my friend or work with me in a just and fair manner, or work cooperatively from a place of love, then fine. Life is about coming in contact with all these different people to figure out our truth. You go figure out your truth with someone else, because I've already figured out the truth of you. I've either figured out that you're an emotionally shallow, superficial person. I've either figured out that you're someone who has divided loyalties. The Seven of Cups can represent your options. You can't decide if you want to pick from your options. Well, then go enjoy your options. I will not be an option anymore. The high vibe people have changed, is what high vibe Five of Wands means. Their foundation of self has been inspired to choose and tip in favor of love. I'm more aligned with my hopeful, believing, loving nature than my worldly, prideful, ego nature. And if I used to be in my ego about some of these people in the world, I've changed. People who did things that I found emotionally confusing, people who couldn't make a decision, people who want to waffle back and forth, people who I wasn't seeing the truth of, who I had the illusion that they were kind of on the same page as me, or that they wanted a deep, meaningful relationship, and then I realized the truth that they are more superficial and shallow, that they are more competitive, that they have a lot of inner conflict, whatever the case. Oh, I thought this was the Judgment card, but it's actually the Temperance card. But the Temperance card is about wrapping your brain around this game of life. Life's an adventure to be lived. Who wants to go on this adventure? Who's dealt with their inner conflict and dealing with not got to pick a side? Who has decided they're inspired by love? Who is willing to offer love to their own inner conflict? That is a lesson to be learned in life. Sagittarius, higher education, life's an adventure to be lived. Not everything we wanted to have work out in our life worked out. Are we willing? Love is the answer. Have we offered love to our inner conflict about some of the people in our life that we wish would have been more just, fair, balanced, loving, and they weren't? Some people could have been dealing with a Leo, or just people who harness their Leo energy in a shadowy way. They're kind of competitive. They have inner conflict about deep, meaningful relationships. Some of you are dealing with a Scorpio, or just how people harness their Scorpio energy. We've all dealt with people that we wish were just and fair, and they weren't. It didn't turn out the way we wanted. Some people offered love to the situation. I don't want to stay in inner conflict about it. I don't want to be in my ego about it. I don't want to be in my competitive energy about it. I'm going to offer love to it. I wish you all peace. I hope it works out for you. But I've learned some lessons from dealing with people like you. To not be emotionally confused and in my inner conflict about it. The truth sets us free. And I'm going to listen to my intuition. And my intuition is telling me, choose love. And I'm going to keep, if there's people in my life that seem to have inner conflict about choosing love, then okay, wish you peace, hope it works out for you. And I'll balance out my emotions about it. I don't know why they don't choose love, but they don't. And I'm going to go find the people in the world who harness these energies in a high vibe way. People who are inspired by love, to learn lessons in life, who've offered love to their past inner conflict and pain and heartbreak or whatever to free themselves, who are listening to their love and intuition to guide their decisions in a relationship versus their fear and their insecurity or their pride and their ego. If you're really competitive in the world and you can't decide if you want to do love, go chase the things of the world. If you have inner conflict about love, go have inner conflict about love with other people. I'm moving on. I choose love. And I'm going to listen to my intuition. And some of the people, shadowy energy can be people who try to, again, is kind of living more from your mind than your heart. And they could think that everybody just creates an illusion about who they are. Doesn't everybody just try to create an illusion about who they are so people will get in relationships with them? Those might be some people who definitely live more from their mind than their heart. And they think everybody does this. And they could think that everybody is really competitive in the world. And that everybody's just trying to balance out their emotions to present this public persona, because Libra energy can be that aspect of ourselves that, like our public politician persona. Don't we have all this inner conflict and we have all these different options in the world and all these different people in the world? So we try to, maintain a stance where nobody is like offended by us, and we are like this public politician, so everybody views us a certain way. And partly that can be because those people are really trying to keep their options open and they want all these people to view them a certain way. Maybe some of them would like people to be fighting over them. Maybe that's where what makes some people happy. Some people maybe aren't happy if people aren't fighting over them. Well, that would be an egotistical, self-centered person. Maybe they think whoever fights for me is the one I'll go with. Good luck with that. Anyway, the shadowy people are probably trying to create an illusion. And they probably do have all this inner conflict because they can't decide what to do in their life. And they're kind of wondering how the other people seem to maybe be in an energy of like peace and love. And they're just thinking you're putting on a better facade than they are. And they just don't get that not everybody is in competitive energy. Not everybody's trying to compete with other people and trying to confuse people about the truth. Some people are authentically living their life and being who they authentically are. And they're like, what? Like, who does that? Because if we're operating from our ego, we're not letting our more authentic nature run our life. It's like our authentic nature's locked inside, looking out from the eyeballs. And that's why some of these people who are creating an illusion got a lot of inner conflict, because it's all about trying to present this facade to the world, trying to manipulate people into how they want them to view them. Can you imagine how exhausting that is? But that's kind of going to be what shadowy energy is, because you're not taking action in truth. You're not speaking your truth. You're not standing up for maybe what you really love and believe in, and you want people to view you a certain way. So it's all about trying to present this image to the world, and then maybe so consumed with your fucking image. How about you just go live your authentic life? Oh, but some people got a problem with that, because that means they'd maybe have to let their more authentic nature out in the world. And some people are really about their ego and their image. It's all about, well, what would everybody else say? It's like, who gives a fuck what everyone else says? Go live your authentic fucking life. Oh my goodness, between you and Pisces, it got really heated during Pisces too. Well, and Pisces can be, this creating an illusion too. And I think it just really frustrates me. Listen to your heart and your intuition. Who are the loving, encouraging people in your life? Who are the people who seem to be prideful, competitive, want to stay in denial of the truth? Who wants you to become all you can be? Who has inner conflict with you listening to your intuition and being your authentic self because they don't live their life that way? They don't want you to live your life that way because then you won't be in a relationship with them, but they might, but they're not going to live their life that way. So it's really trying to stop you from becoming all that you can be. Who wants you to listen to your intuition? Who wants you to love and believe in yourself? Who instead tries to emotionally confuse you and keep you stuck and play on your fear and your insecurity and your competition and your doubt? I don't think you should trust those people. And it's all this stuff to stop people from moving forward with the loving, encouraging aspect within themselves and the people in their life who are loving and encouraging. Who are the people who are trying to confuse you and keep you stuck? Who's trying to get you in your ego and your competitive nature? And I just think the people who are stuck, let them be stuck. Why is this going on in Libra energy? Because the Lovers and the Ace of Pentacles and the Two of Cups, and the Two of Cups can kind of be, again, what do I align with? What do I love? Gemini energy. Am I going to align with my worldly nature or my worldly nature or my loving nature? I have to pick a side. Which side am I going to align with within myself and therefore outside of myself with people? Am I going to align with the people who are more motivated and inspired by the world or me or my ego or indulge me in my shadow nature? Or am I going to align with, do I believe if I listen to love and intuition to guide me, I can work with that to manifest my dreams into reality? Or do I think the only thing I have to work with is the things of the world? And then I ignore my intuition and love to be a guiding factor. I need to be practical. I need to be grounded. I need to work with the world. We need to be logical. Well, we were given intuition. Intuition was given to us as a gift. We're part of the animal kingdom. All the animals have their unique things that they have. Like bats have sonar, birds and butterflies know to fly to warmer climates when it's cold out. We have our intuition. If we quit listening to our intuition, that would be us in our pride and ego. Like, no. I'm going to do this instead. Even though our intuition is telling us, you shouldn't do that. That is not this isn't going to work out, But we've all got lessons to learn in life, right? And we've all gotten ourselves in situations where we feel emotionally confused and stuck and have a lot of inner conflict. And partly it could be because we didn't listen to our intuition. Because we want to be in relationships, But our intuition could have been screaming at us the whole time. And that's one of the lessons to learn in life. Life's all about learning lessons. The thing is, some of you have learned some of these lessons already that some other people haven't. And we need to see the truth of that too. Some people got a lot more life lessons to learn than some other people. Some people don't want to give up their options. Some people want to play the field. Some people have illusions about love. Some people are full of themselves. Some people, whatever, To listen to your intuition. If people aren't taking in high vibe Libra energy, which is represented by the King of Swords, taking action in truth and love to cut the things out of their life they need to cut out in order to move forward in truth and love and in a just and fair and balanced way, they need to cut out the things within them that manipulate them and the people and stand up to the people in their life that might try to manipulate them. And some people are unwilling to do that because they love those people. It's like, okay, that can be someone's in shadowy energy and kind of more codependent energy. And that's a lesson to learn too. It's like, whatever manipulates you and the people in your life, they don't manipulate me. And high vibe energy is about being independent and knowing your worth and value and being in relationships with other people who respect that you're all each independent individuals who other people shouldn't try to manipulate and control. But some people are in group dynamics with people who think they should be able to manipulate and control everybody, and nobody should become independent. You shouldn't go ever fly out of the nest and spread your own wings, and you shouldn't live your life any differently than we live our life. It's to see the truth of it. If people have things that manipulate and control them, you're going, our shadow nature is represented by the devil, the things that imprison us, restrict us, confine us. If you've been in relationships with some people who are restricted by a lot of things and people and ways of viewing life, if those aren't things that manipulate you, you're going to be imprisoned with them if you stay in relationship with them until they free themselves from those things. And they may never free themselves from those things. We have the free will choice to invest. And everybody wants to invest in people probably who are on the same page as them at any given moment in time. And if we realize that we're not on the same page as some people, then we go to invest, take the lesson we learned. Oh, I can love you and we're not on the same page. You want to move forward in one way of viewing life in a way you think is just and fair. I want to move forward in life, in relationships, in a way that I think is just and fair. And we're just in different places. And people can think how you treat people in a relationship. They can think one way is just and fair. You think another way is just and fair. We don't view things the same. I see the truth of that. And there is different people that we can be in a relationship with, and some people, I think we are drawn and attracted to people because we have lessons learned from them. And sometimes that's why people have all this inner conflict, and they can choose to, it's hard for them to give up their more worldly or ego or whatever nature to invest in love. And we just see the truth of it. And there are two that, other people that they love, other people in the world, different ways of viewing life, tempt them. And we could have people that we could be in relationship with that we feel are on the same page as us. This is Gemini. Well, I guess you could look at that as all the earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo, and this is Cancer energy. What do we love? Do we love the world? Is that more what we're aligned with? Do we love ourself kind of in a shadowy way, egotistical more way? Or do we love learning lessons in life? And that can be the big difference. Life's about learning lessons in life. That way you move from one phase of life to the next phase of life because you've learned what you're meant to learn from that phase of life, because otherwise we'll keep repeating that phase of life over and over and over. We can't move to the next phase of life until the truth sets us free to go live our life differently. Are we willing to get out of our ego and our fear and our insecurities or whatever, or our more self-indulgent nature, to admit that we have lessons to learn? To see the truth that it is supposed to be about love. And some people really have a conflict about realizing it is supposed to be about love. I thought it was supposed to be about me. Or I thought it was supposed to be about the world. Or I thought it was supposed to be about whatever else they think it's supposed to be about. Some people could just think, can't I align with my more worldly nature and just offer people money for them to love me? It's like, well, it's basically trying to tempt people with the things of the world. I'm attractive, you should come get in a relationship with me. It's like, but are you loving? I have money, you should come get in a relationship with me. Are you loving? And they're like, no, I don't want to do that. I have these things of the world. I'll have sex with you. I've got money. I've got power. I'm good looking. Come get in a relationship with me. And some people are conflicted because, they know they could probably go get in relationships with people for those reasons. Or they could get people to get in relationships with them for those reasons. But they also might know some high vibe people that they could get in relationship with that are offering them love. I have learned that the truth is, it's about love. And I'm offering you love to work with me. And they're like, Oh, shit. So that's why some people are confused right now because they could be in a mismatched relationship. Other people already learned the lesson. They've cut the people out of their life who can't make a decision, and they're investing in loving themselves. They're making offers to other people who they think are on the same page as them. The people they could make that offer to, that could throw them. And they're not showing people that they're having a lot of inner conflict and maybe trying to listen to their intuition. Because how are they going to move forward in the advice card? The advice card is to keep learning lessons in life, to deal with your inner conflict, to deal with your emotional confusion, to take action in truth and love. I view the King of Cups as Cancer energy also. And go with the flow. If the people in your life are treating you in a loving, respectful, just, and fair way, why would we get out of that relationship to go get in a relationship with someone else? That would be silly, because we're looking for people who have these traits and qualities and characteristics. And some people, though, they could be tempted for some reason, pride, ego, whatever. And so if people are in relationships, move forward with the people in your life who are loving and nurturing and supportive, encouraging, willing to work cooperatively with you from a place of love, not operating from ego. They've grown, they've matured, they listen to their intuition to guide them. That's who people should move forward with. And if there's some people any of you have made an offer to and those people can't make a decision, then you're not the person for me. I see the truth of that. The the Five of Pentacles moves away from the Four of Pentacles, and the Four of Pentacles can be holding on to an old foundation. The truth sets us free. You're not there yet. You're in a different relationship, because sometimes you can reach out to people or just know people and you don't even know they're in a relationship. But it's like, whatever, if I'm going to keep moving forward in truth and love, I'm going to keep going with the flow in the energy of love, because love is what helps us move forward. And the people who are able to move forward with me now will. And because there's always usually some people in our life, brothers, sisters, parents, siblings, friends, people at work, just people who want to move forward in the energy of truth and love and justice and fairness and balance. And the people in our life that aren't acting in that way, it's like, wish you peace, hope it works out for you, but I'm going to keep my distance from you. If I wanted to be in a romantic interest in you and you're not seeming able to make a decision, I'm not going to be stuck with you. While you're confused about what you want to do, I'm going to keep moving forward, and I'm going to go invest in the people in the world, because it's an injustice for me to stay stuck in confusion. I'm going to go invest my time, energy, and effort into people in the world who do want to be my friend and, just enjoy my life with the loving people in the world. And maybe I'll find the people who are on the same page as you. And what will be the possible outcome if you listen to the advice? Knight of Swords in reverse. Well, the Knight of Swords is Gemini energy also, just like the Lover's card. I think as time goes by, the people in your life who aren't moving forward with you, there will probably be people that you quit communicating with over time. Because when we move from one phase of life and move forward in our life differently, people who aren't ready to move forward in life that way, just like when we were age 15 to 18 to 21 to 25, the people who weren't ready to kind of move forward in life, to face their fears, to move forward in that new way, we just become more distanced from them because we're kind of hanging out with people who are more on the same page as us. And we just don't talk to them as much. And as time goes by, we also can see the truth that some people aren't aligned in their Gemini energy with truth and love. And sometimes that's why we distance ourselves from people. You seem to be confused about what your truth is. I can love you. Take the time to figure out what you want. I'm going to move on because I am ready to move forward in life. in truth and love, and you seem to be confused about or being just and fair in a relationship, acting with character and integrity. So you take your time to figure out what you want to do, and I'm going to keep moving forward. And I guess you'll see who is not willing to speak their truth and who is, and it'll allow you time to emotionally detach from people, because we do, in our Scorpio energy, which is the Seven of Cups and the Death card, we have a lot of emotionally complex feelings towards people, and it does take time to emotionally detach from people and kind of untangle it all. And when we offer people peace, you go do how you want to live life because you don't seem to want to move forward with me aligned with truth and love, you know, we might find that the truth is that those people weren't on the same page as us, and they're not ready to detach from some things in their life that might, if they were to detach from them, they would be able to move forward in life differently, because the Death card is like putting an end to an old way of viewing life or ourself, and to move forward in life, transforming our life because we're not the same person we were before. But you have to speak your truth, and you have to see the truth, and you have to quit aligning with and defending people who seem to be holding on to that old energy. Oops, got an alarm on my phone. It's like, say, if you use the example of when we were 15 to 18 years old, people are going out, facing their fears, getting a job, learning how to drive, and other people are like, oh, I don't want to do that. That's scary. I don't want to step out of my comfort zone. I want to stay here. Well, that's when you kind of realize that other people aren't willing to transform their life, and they might not want to deal with some truths that they need to deal with and detach from, and they're not willing, however they view life, they're not willing to detach from those things or speak their truth or take action in truth or stand up for themselves. So they're going to repeat an old pattern where you've already been there, and there would be nothing new for you to learn there. If you were to stay in relationship with them or hanging out with them, living your life that way, there's nothing new for you to learn there. I already learned what I was meant to learn from living my life that way. I am ready to move to the next phase of life, but the other people haven't. And sometimes there's shadowy people that want us to keep moving forward with them, where in like this lack mentality. No, we're just going to align with our more worldly view of life. We're going to wear our false mask about how happy and loving life is, but we're unwilling to speak our truth, take action in truth, stand up for ourselves, to grow, to change, to mature. We're going to keep moving forward like this forever because we don't want to change. I don't want to have to pick a side. I want to waffle back and forth. I want the people in my life to waffle back and forth. If I have divided loyalty and I make my original family group or my friend group or my ego on equal billing as the people I'm trying to build a loving relationship with, and I can't decide, and I just kind of go back and forth. Well, today you'll kind of be priority in my life, and then all those people are priority in my life. Well, then, if you're going to work together with people to build a loving relationship with, I think the loving people should be the priority in your life. They come first. These are the people on the new journey of my life. All the other relationships I've been in up to this time had their time in place, but you're not my love partner. You're not people I'm going to build a family with. So you take a different priority in my life. And some people just don't get that either, and they're not willing to detach and separate from anyone. And because they're unwilling to separate from other people, in their ego, they think they know best. And the outcome will be that the people that they could have moved forward with, that weren't defensive to change, they could have had a deep, meaningful relationship with, those people aren't going to be talking to them anymore. And those people will have emotionally detached from them. And then they're left with moving forward with the people in their life who aren't aligned with truth and love and justice and fairness and transformation. They're repeating an old pattern where I guess it's based on confusion, illusion, the world, ego, image, money, not changing, not growing, not healing. And I think they'll probably feel left out in the cold and confused. Why didn't this work out the way I thought it was going to work out? Because you didn't choose to align with your more loving, hopeful, believing nature. And eventually the loving, hopeful, believing people said, I can't live life like you. I can't live this more emotionally shallow, superficial way of living life where people are defensive to speaking their truth or standing up for themselves or becoming more independent, who want to wear this false mask of how loving everything is. But people are emotionally shallow and superficial. It's all just an illusion. I don't want to live a life of illusion. I want the real deal. And the people who are ready to move forward like that are the people who are willing to communicate with people in their life that I've learned lessons in life. I've gotten out of my ego. I've gotten out of my inner conflict. I've learned to love myself. I've learned to have hope and faith and belief. And I could have repeated at one time some poor past patterns of my own, because we repeat it till we see the truth. Now I've seen the truth. I'm ready to move forward in life differently. Do you want to come with me in this energy and be my friend to work together like this? Or do you not? And I think the high vibe people, they're just willing to detach, and the people in their life who aren't. And they're not going to keep... They could have made offers, or people could have made offers to them, and maybe... wanted to give it time, because the Sagittarius Temperance card is about being patient, to let people work through their own feelings, their own thoughts, to their own emotional things. But there comes a point in time when our intuition says it's time to go. And we can't keep our life in stagnant energy. So I wish you peace. Whoever's in my life right now is the people I'm moving forward with. If at some future point in time you decide to detach from something and you might communicate with me, if I think you've quit defending your more shadowy way of being, or I think you've transformed your life, or you've learned lessons in your life, maybe we can reconnect at some future date. But there comes a point that we have to deal with people who are bringing things into reality, is what the Pentacles talk about. And we can't keep staying in just the hopeful nature about it, that if people aren't bringing things into reality, just in the energy of love is the advice. Wish them peace, but I'm moving on. And I'm not going to stay focused emotionally on that anymore, because people aren't speaking their truth, and I need people who are speaking their truth. And I'm going to not keep investing in something that keeps me stuck and feeling overwhelmed. It's time for me to wrap my brain that apparently those people aren't coming. So, I'm going to deal with the fact that I'm sad that didn't work out, and I'm going to go keep taking action, being a student of life, speaking my truth, staying, maintaining balance within myself, loving my inner child nature, and I detach from an old cycle, because my intuition is telling me it's time to have a new beginning and to see the truth. And if other people aren't taking action to have that new beginning and work with me in that way, then I guess this is over. And it helps us emotionally detach from the past to move on. And some people, you will have a new beginning, because everybody was willing to get out of maybe whatever inner conflict they had. And you're going to move forward with whoever the people in your life that are willing to move forward with you in a loving way, because you're all on the same page of love. The other people are probably going to move forward with people in their life that are on the same page as them, wherever they're at in life. because everybody kind of wants to move on. Some people, their truth isn't love. They want to kind of indulge in love, have this illusion about what it means to be in relationships. And they're going to keep wearing their false mask. And they're probably going to repeat a past pattern where, it probably doesn't work out the way they wanted. What's coming up for the people who harness some high vibe Libra energy that they might not see coming up? We've all dealt with people in the world where things didn't work out the way we wanted. High vibe people, from an energy of love, they wish those people peace. I hope it works out for you. I've dealt with the truth. If I feel like I acted with character and integrity and love, I can take my traits and characteristics into a new relationship. My dreams aren't codependent on you. And sometimes we have to see the truth that other people, if they didn't act with truth and love and character and integrity, it's to, still wish them peace, but they've got some lessons learned in life that you've already learned. And they're probably going to go repeat some poor past patterns of ways of being. And it's probably not going to turn out the way they wanted, because they're meant to learn these lessons that it's not just and fair for me to act in these more immature ways of being, and I need to grow up. And they may never. We know everybody's got free will. And they might find someone who's willing to indulge them in that energy. We have the Queen of Cups, the Six of Wands, the Three of Pentacles because of the Queen of Wands. The Queens can talk about how we think and feel. I think the high vibe people are going to love themselves so that they can get out of their ego about the past to move forward in life. And they're going to put this work and effort to free themselves from their ego, because the Queen of Wands is Leo energy, and other people in their life who operate from ego. I don't want to be in a relationship with people who operate from ego, and I don't like being in my ego nature about it, my competitive nature, my fearful nature, whatever. I'm going to love myself to get out of my ego about it, wish them peace, and I'm moving on to go work with other people who are motivated and inspired to work together with people the way I'm motivated and inspired to work together with people. And I think there's going to be other people who see that you're moving forward in this new way, that you're no longer confused about people in your past. And that's when people listening to their intuition, even though some of those people are having a lot of inner conflict, maybe even holding back from some of you people, they don't want to get in relationships with people who are still have inner conflict about past people. And when my intuition tells me that you have really emotionally detached from that and to move forward in your life, then I'm going to make you this offer to get in a relationship with you. But I don't want to get in relationships with people who are still hung up on people from their past, haven't healed from it and really aren't ready to move on. And I also think you'll free yourself from the past and feel more stable and grounded and abundant and inspired within yourself. And you're going to go communicate with people in the world, shining your light, being your loving nature. And there's going to be other people in the world who are going to appreciate people like you in the world. Okay, what's coming up for some people in shadowy energy that they don't see coming up? Well, if there is some people right now who have been trying to maybe manipulate or control people or confuse people, they're going to experience some endings in their life, because they could have loving people in their life, but eventually the loving people are like, I'm done investing in someone who can't make a decision if they want to treat me in a just and fair, loving, respectful way, treating other people the way you like to be treated. And the other people could probably... So I just think things aren't going to work out the way they want, because other people do listen to their intuition. Other people don't want to keep repeating an old pattern of way of living life like these people like to live life. They want to move forward. They want to grow. They want to heal. They want to mature. They want to move forward in loving, warm relationships where people aren't operating from ego and competitive energy. And some of these people, that's how they live their life. I want to do life just like this. No, let me keep indulging like in a relationship with you without ever having to really move forward in it to bring that dream into reality. And other people are like, see, I wish you peace and love, but I'm done. And those people could be really confused by it because they don't see the truth. They might view themselves as a loving person, but it's kind of like they could have bought into the illusion of, well, if I act this way and act this way and act that way, I'm acting like a loving person. It's like, yeah, you learned all these traits and characteristics from people, and now you're like mimicking them, pretending they harness high vibe Cancer energy when they don't. People who operate from a foundation of love, their cup overflows. They freely give of themselves. It's not like a calculated strategy to try to get people to move forward in a relationship with them. And some of those people, they just don't get it. It is living more from the mind than the heart. Like, well, I've learned all these things from all these people. Well, I'm copying all these things I've learned from all these people. I'm acting like it's the truth of who I am, but it really isn't the truth of who they are. They truly probably are someone who doesn't, it could even be a narcissist. Shadowy Scorpio could be a narcissist. Not someone who's a Scorpio sun sign, someone who harnesses their own Scorpio energy in a shadowy way. I reject the truth that it's supposed to be about love. I could get hurt doing love. I protect myself at all costs. So I keep my more authentic, vulnerable nature hidden within inside. My ego runs my life. I do not tap into all these gifts that they were given by the divine. All their like inner child nature of their creative, imaginative, loving, more hopeful, believing nature. All those get buried beneath the surface emotionally. And they let their more superficial, shallow nature run their life because they're operating from their ego, because that makes practical, logical sense. Then I won't get hurt. Well, who wants to be in a relationship with someone? We were given those gifts to not be like a computer. But other people think, oh no, like a computer. I'm like in this human automaton, and I can just animate myself and use my traits and my gifts in a manipulative way. I'll use my emotions in a manipulative way. I'll use my creativity in a shadowy way. I'll use my sexuality in a shadowy way to get people to believe like I'm this authentic person in the world, but they're like a fake person in the world. So there you go, Libra energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.